Matovu Ohlecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Yisrael. How good are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, Israel. Va'ani berov chastecha avo veitecha, eshtacha ve'el hechal kodshecha b'yiratecha. Adonai ahavti ma'on beitecha u'mekom mishkan kvodecha. Va'ani eshtacha ve'echra'a, evrecha lifnei Adonai osi. Va'ani tzvilati lecha Adonai et ratzon Elohim, berov chastecha, aneni be'emet yishecha. As for me, through your abundant kindness, we enter your house. And we will prostrate ourselves towards your holy sanctuary in awe of you. Adonai, I love the dwelling, your house, and the place where your glory resides. I will prostrate myself and bow. I will kneel before Adonai, my Maker. May my prayer to you, Adonai, be at a favorable time. God, in the abundance of your kindness, answer me with your truth of your deliverance. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I know that none of us take for granted the ability to walk into sanctuaries these days, and particularly the Shabbat after the horrific events in Colleyville, Texas, at Congregation Beth Israel. And so as we enter, there are these words that I recited, which traditionally are said in the morning, but acknowledge, and they begin with the words of Bilam the prophet, who tried to curse, but in the end offered blessing. And as we sit, those of us who are in the sanctuary today, and those of us who are joining from all around the country and all around the world, we're filled with gratitude that we're here to celebrate Shabbat and celebrate life, and having passed through our collective trauma of this past Shabbat. Obviously, it was very particular. Rabbi Charlie Citron Walker and his 3 congregants and their entire community. But all of us were with them, sitting at home, waiting, praying that they would come through. And so as we enter the sanctuaries all around the country and all around the world, we do not take for granted what it means to walk through these doors, the doors of our beloved sanctuary and of sanctuaries all around the world, and enter the Shabbat pensive and holding the collective Jewish community together as we parade through the Shabbat with a sense of awe and gratitude and desire to feel at home and safe on the inside, physically safe on the outside, and to cherish really what it means to be in a house of God, with the people of God, with the love of God, and desire to be a prayer for God in the world. Yedid Nefesh, page 10, or page 252. Corner on and out, page 11 or page 254.
שנה אקוט בדור ואומר עם תועל לבבהם הם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי באפי אם יבואו אל מנוחתי
The fourth line on page 16.
ותשמח ציון ותגלנה בנות יהודה למען משפטך אדוני. אור זרו על הצדיק ולשלב שמחה, שמחו צדיקות באדוני והודו לזכר קודשו.
מזמור שיר לאדוני שיר חדש, שיר גבעות עשה ושיר לו ימינו זרוע קודשו, לאדוני ישועתו לעיניהם. זכר חסדו ואמונתו לבית ישראל כל אבשתו. הביאו לאדוני כל הארץ ויצפונו וזמרו זמרו לאדוני החצות ירעם הימום ירעם הימום לו תבל ויושביה נרות ימחה וחף יחד הרים ירננו לפני אדוני כי בא לשפוט הארץ לשפוט תבל ותלמיד ומשרים. Page 19 אדוני מלאך ירדו ממנו ושב קרובים לבנות הארץ אדוני בציון גדול רמו יודו שמך גדול ונורא קדוש.
משה ואהרון בכהניו ושמואל בקורא שמו קוראים אל אדוני והוא יענה. והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו.
Please rise, מזמור לדוד, page 27 or page 266.
21.
Oh
may be seated. Shabbat Shalom once again to everyone. We arrive at this extraordinary Shabbat that, according to some Hasidic teachings, is like a mini Shavuot. It's called Shavuot Ze'ira, that it's a mini Shavuot because we once again experienced the giving of the Torah and the reading out loud of the Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 Commandments. And the opening psukim of chapter 19, which is where the revelation begins, in just a few verses, we get this incredible picture of what this moment is supposed to be about. And it says, Vayachanu b'midbar, that the people of Israel camped in the desert, and the Mechilta, which is an early midrashic literature, asks why it is that there's a very big sound happening. I'm getting a message.
Yes.
The warmth.
There's a signal.
The warmth.
The revelation is arriving already. Hallelujah. There you go. Thank you. I feel like I'm in a Baptist church again. It's amazing. So the Torah, it says, was given in the desert, in the wilderness, because the Torah was given in an open space. It was given not in Eretz Yisrael. Why, asked the Midrash? Because then the people of Israel could say to the nations of the world, you have no portion in it. But it was given openly in a public space of non-ownership. And all who wanted to take of it could come and take of it. Which is such a beautiful idea that the Torah, while it was given to the people of Israel, is not exclusively for us. It's an open, expansive, loving, compelling revelation that is not meant only for those who identify with it, but is expansive to offer it up to anyone who would want to participate and engage. And then in the next line, it takes the Vayachanu, that they encamped in the wilderness, and then it says Vayichan Sham, that they encamped again. But this time it uses the singular rather than the plural. Why, ask the commentaries, is it a singular notion rather than the plural of the people of Israel, who are, of course, a plurality? And the beautiful teaching that is given a lot of attention, that Rashi says, and then many others expand from it, says because the Torah, the people of Israel were like Keish echad belev echad, like one person with one heart. Or actually in the Torah, the heart is also understood to be, they were of one mind. And according to the tradition, in many ways, the collectivity, that Keish echad belev echad idea, that they were of one people and one heart and one mind, is what allowed for the revelation to come to be. And that the people of Israel who were complaining last week after being delivered from Mitzrayim and had a rough time along the way even to get to this moment of Sinai, had kind of passed their murmurings and their complaining to form some kind of oneness, of unity, of solidarity. And I think I'll just speak for myself. Over the course of the last week, since Saturday evening when I turned on my phone to realize what was happening in Texas, that sense of being woven together as a community, Keish echad belev echad, but not for revelation, but for terror. And yet, the sense of being bound by this people, by this Torah, by this love that is available to all but particular to some, that was one of the images that came to mind of how bound up we are with one another. Yet, we don't always feel that way. It doesn't always, we don't walk in the world as Jews always in that way, and certainly there's a lot of diversity within our people. But then from that notion of Ki'ish echad belev echad, from one person as one heart, which they receive the revelation, we just read this incredible Psalm, Mizmor LeDavid, Psalm 29, which is a rambunctious psalm filled with all these noises and all these images. And actually this psalm is associated with the giving of Torah at Sinai. And there are many ideas about this psalm, one of which is that with all the language that's given, Kol Adonai B'koach, Kol Adonai B'hadar, that the voice of God was in strength and the voice of God was in beauty, was to describe all the kinds of people that stood at Sinai and their capacity to experience Torah, how they received it, and that the voice of God is able to be in multiplicity, and each person could receive, according to the Midrash in Shemot Rabbah, each person received Torah according to their strength. That in our oneness and in our connectivity and in our camping together, Ki'ish echad belev echad, as one person with one heart, we all each also receive something very specific and particular to us. And I think that's also been true over the course of this past week. Those of us who feel we have friends in Dallas, my chavruta is in Dallas, we all have different connections, we all have experiences, I'm sure, of anti-Semitism, of fear, of that sense that we all have a very particular and unique experience of which Torah is supposed to speak to. And given our history and given who we are, it's unique. And then there's also a beautiful commentary, a Hasidic commentary on the left-hand side in Lev Shalem that says all the Kol Adonai B'koach, Kol Adonai B'hadar, that all the voices of God also express all these emotions, compassion and courage, shining truth, endurance and patience, gates of splendorous beauty, and the gates of the deepest connection to God, and God opening up the gates of God's presence. That the sense of holistic, all the voices of God are about some kind of totality that lives in multiplicity. That's the vision of Torah, and this Psalm, Mizmor LeDavid, also ends with this incredible idea, and actually it's put in the voice of Bilam the prophet again, where he says, Adonai oz le'amo yitin, God will give God's strength to the people. And if you ever imagine his role in being on the mountain and offering this up, and then all the people say in response, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, that God will bless God's people with peace. We need this version of Torah. We're desperate to be a collective humanity, a collective Jewish people, that one can live Ki'ish echad belev echad, not in fear and not in vulnerability, but in strength and love and bound together in all of our multiplicity and all of the voices we carry. And that the notion of Torah is supposed to, one, bind us together as a whole, but also awaken our individual selves to receive something very, very particular. And so on this Shabbat of Parashat Yitro, where we encounter Revelation, a mini Shavuot, I bless us with the sense of being bound together in beauty and not only in fear, of hearing the voices of all the unique people in our community and outside of our community, in the desert of what it means to live, to find the sense of expansiveness that Rabbi Charlie also lived and lives in his life, thanks God. Thank God he's living, which was not a given. And that in our multiplicity and in our being bound together, that's where God will bless us with strength and with peace. And on this Shabbat, we need it. It's been a hard week, even though the outcome was thankfully good. I can only speak for myself in saying that it's just been hard to carry, to know that this is the world we're living in. And so I take comfort and inspiration from that version of Torah. And it's the version of Torah that not only we want to live, but we want to project out in the world, in the wilderness. We turn to L'Chadodi on page 23 or page 262.
זכור ושמור בדיבורך השמיענו אל המאוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה Shabbat Malka Echadodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat Nekabela Echadodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat
Standing to welcome in the mourners as they come in. We welcome in Marlene Halpern and Irving Weitzman and their son Jacob Halpern Weitzman, and we wish the whole family condolences on the passing of Marlene and Nancy's father Bernard Halpern. And we also welcome in Alan and Maddie Adamson and their children Joshua and Alyssa on the death of Alan's father Joe Adamson. And we turn to our community members on Zoom, welcoming in Katie, Franny, and Larry, the children of Maxine Wolf, a member of B'nai Jeshurun. And we also welcome in on the Zoom Karen Moss Lux and Marshall Lux and their children Matthew and Ariel and Sarah and Bill, and Karen's mother Arlene Moss, and wish condolences on the passing of Karen's father, Roger Moss. And we say to all of you the words of comfort, which can be found on page 26. We say, Hamakom yenachem etchem betoch she'ar avlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the divine comfort you along with all of the other mourners of Zion and Yerushalayim. We can be seated, those in the sanctuary, and we continue our service with Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, page 27, or page 266.
Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Le'odot L'Adonai,
Tov Le'odot L'Adonai,
U'lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Maganu Masakana Kumam Shabbat Shmarla Yadavsi Kine Avachada Tzadik Katamari
We take in the melodies of Kabbalat Shabbat, a nice deep breath, letting them pulse through our bodies and bringing us into the evening service of Aravit, page 39a or page 279. We rise in body or in spirit for Baruch Hu.
את אדוני המבורך ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד
Baruch atah Adonai, Amari Continue on the top of page 40.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל
Shema. ושיננתם לבניך ונימרת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו תותפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך
ישמרו לכם פן יפנה.
וחרה.
שמתם את דבריהם. ויאמר אדוני משה למען תזכרו ועשיתם. אמת.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 43.
אנחנו ישראל אלוה פזינו יד מלאכית אלוקינו אבותינו. שלם גמול לך לא נתן מעמד יחינו במות ותרנו. עשה לנו ניסים ונקמה בנו.
We pray for redemption, the top of page 44.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלוהים אדוני מי כמוך נדע בכל נורא ואילו
Pick up a few lines from the bottom. Page 45.
עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ועל ירושלים.
We rise on page 46 or page 294 Vishamru.
לדור
Turn to the Silent Amidah, page 47, or page 314. continue soaring on page 53 or page 314 by Echulu.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון קודש שמיים וארץ.
מגן אבות בדברו, מחיים מתים במאמרו, האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו.
המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו, כי בם רצה להניח להם.
לפניו נעבוד ביראה ובפחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד.
מעון הברכות אל ההוצאות, אדון השלום, מקדש השבת, מברך שביעי, ומניח קדושה לעמד ושני עונג, זכר למעשה בראשית.
אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, רצה במנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך ותן חלקנו בתורתך. שבנו מטובך ושמח נפשנו בישועתך, וטהר ליבנו לעובדך באמת, והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה ורצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו בה ישראל מקדשי שמך. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Kabbalat Shalom, page 54 or page 314. יתקדש ויתקדש שמר הבא, ועמד יברח ירצה, והמליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובמייכון ובחיי תכו בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב יאמרו
אמן. יש מרבה מברך, יעלם יעלמיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר וישוע וינסה ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה ברכו לעילם, כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן ויאמר ויאמרו
אמן. תתקבל צלותינו ובאותינו לכל ישראל קודם, אבוני בשמי ואמרו אמן.
אמן. יש למה רב אמין שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
אמן. עושה שלום בברמיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו
We turn to Kiddush on page 55 or page 318, inviting those who are joining us from home to grab grape juice or wine as we sanctify the day.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו בשבת קודשו, באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא הקודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך הנחלתנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת.
L'chaim. We continue with blessing our children. I don't know if we have any children here tonight. Is anyone seeing any that are with us? And I know some are here with parents, and those who are at home, we invite you to get closer and just send the energy out. It's a time of blessing for all of us as we are all children. And we turn to page 692, or we have the handouts in the sanctuary. Hamalach HaGoeloti.
Hamalach HaGoeloti. Hamalach HaGoeloti mikol יברך את העמים ויקרן בהם שני. בשם אבותיי, בשם אבותיי, אברהם ויצחק, וידגו לרוב, וידגו לרוב, בקרב הארץ.
We continue with the Birkat Kohanim, page 75 or 722. Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chemenashe, Yisimech Elohim ke'Sara, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Amen.
Amen. And we turn to page 56 or 320 for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש, ברוך הוא שהוא נשמע ויוצא מושל יקרוש ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Be seated. We invite those who are in mourning or marking a yard site to remain standing, or if you're joining us on Zoom, to unmute, and we'll say Kaddish on page 58 or page 324. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra pirtei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yesh shmei Rabbah mevarach ve'olam u'lomel maya, yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shemed, Kusha, Brichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Amiram v'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Hoseh shalom b'mrama, Vel kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May be seated. Shabbat Shalom to everyone
Shabbat
who's
Shalom.
here with us, and also to those joining us. We once again share condolences with all of our members, both here and on Zoom, who have lost loved ones this week. And we turn to the other side of the life cycle event, and we wish a mazal tov, a hearty mazal tov to Dennis Adler and to Robin Aronow on the birth of their grandson, Xavier Vidal Albistigu Adler. And we say mazal tov to Xavier's parents, and Garrett and Karina, and also to brother Jaquin, and to the uncles and aunts, Nate and Rachel and Drew. So mazal tov to all of you. We can't wait to have all the children back in here, please God, very soon, including the little ones. And we will continue our Shabbat together, spending Shabbat together from near and far tomorrow morning at 9:30. We invite you to join us for services here in the sanctuary and also on Zoom or in live stream. And we'll also have our family service tomorrow. It's going to be virtual. Hopefully that'll be the last of our virtual services, but you can join us. Our family is 3rd through 6th grade, and all family members are welcome to join us on Zoom. We'll be in the chapel. I'll be there with Michael Harlow, and we're looking forward to praying with you. And for our youngest members, our early childhood families, we have virtual Shabbat services tomorrow morning on the Family Life and Learning Facebook page. But again, we're very close to having everyone back in the building, so we look forward to that and sending blessings from near and far at that point. And after we spend our Shabbat hopefully learning and celebrating and enjoying the revelation and the Torah that we receive every Shabbat, but really this Shabbat, we'll conclude with Aravit and Havdalah on Zoom at 5:55. So that'll be at 5:55. And next week, we have opportunities to learn together and to talk about prayer. So I'll be teaching at 7:30 on Monday evening as a part of our Torah of Shemitah series. And we've been learning through a Shemitah year. And we'll be looking at some rabbinic texts on Shemitah. So an opportunity to learn Torah together and to explore and ask questions. And then on Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m., Rolly will be offering a Let's Talk About Prayer, where this will be an opportunity again to gather and to express some of the challenges that come up when we are praying in formal prayer settings. It'll be a conversation, an opportunity to learn some text, and to open our minds and our souls and remember that what we're doing here is not just meant to be rote, but that we're here and we're showing up and we're doing the work in order to make sure that we are spiritually nourished as much as we are physically and emotionally. And with that, we wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom, a peaceful Shabbat. And we will conclude our services with Yigdal, which you can find on page
62.
62 in the Lev Shalem.
And page 326.
Wonderful. 326.
It's nice to have some more people in the sanctuary.
It's so
Thank you
nice.
for being here. We're growing our community back in the sanctuary.
יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח נמצא ונתן מציאותו כל דבר אשר נברא ראשון וראשית לראשיתו הנה אדון עולם וכל עוצם יורק את ידתו ומלכותו שפע נבואתו סגולתו ותפארתו לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומביא את אמונתו תורת אמת נתן לעם אוהל על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו ולא
Adonai Oz le'amo iten, Adonai yevarech et amav b'shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach. May it be a blessed Shabbat for all of us. Welcome back.